Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the Dramatic Dream Dragons podcast here on the 5-Star Network. We are, as always, a podcast all about Dragon Gate and DDT, and I am your host, Sondre. And with me today, I have Dylan Fox. Hi.
Sondre. Just a two-man show this week. Two-person show, more accurately. And we are here talking so many things that has happened in wrestling, but I'm so happy to be here with everybody. Shout out to all the listeners as usual. Just know that I love you guys so much. All the people listening to the show. Hopefully you guys have fun and enjoy it. Even though there's a lot of news, not all of it good news, but there is good and bad. Obviously, life's a roller coaster, up and downs, and sideways times as well. Nobody recognizes the sideways time, but they are there. But hopefully everybody enjoys the show. And Sondre, there's going to be a lot of us together this week. We already did our show on the Patreon, patreon.com/Eastern Lariat, talking about the best of Super Juniors for New Japan. And we'll be doing a couple more shows on Sunday. So me and you are well acquainted now. And in addition to all of our just general talks and chit-chats, usually revolving around wrestling in some form on there. Although this is some behind-the-scenes talk right now I'm about to give everybody. Before the show, I went to get up and I said I was going to use the bathroom, which I did do, to be fair. But also, I went to the kitchen and I saw, because I noticed that we had bought, me and my great-grandpa Ken, we've got a big thing of barbecue, which is like pulled pork. Which, if anybody knows me, they know I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. That's my hometown. If you are not inside America, it's very well known as the place of grilling things. It doesn't even have to be meat. It can be like corn. You know, you could put a corn on the cob on the grill and grill it here. We grill everything. We put barbecue sauce on everything. It doesn't make sense to many people. But when you're from Memphis, that's what you do. You put barbecue on. And last night was a pretty rough night for me personally. So when I see the ability to grill things, that just perks my attitude up. So right before I got in here to record the show, my attitude jumped up. My heart grew like 3 times its size, like the barbecue Grinch right now. So with that said, Sondre, my hype level is very high between me and you. So we need to get going and talk about some good wrestling. And whatever we have to say, I'm just glad that we're doing it together.
Yeah. Wild story about barbecue.
What do you know about the barbecue Grinch, Sondre?
I only what you just told me.
It's because I just made it up. That's why there's no information on this thing that I just made up.
True. Well, so no Yannik this week. He couldn't make it, but we are holding the flag down as always for Dragon Gate and DDT and some GLEAT this week. But we have, first of all, we have a lot of Dragon Gate to cover because we, of course, didn't talk about the triple header in Sapporo last weekend because none of us had watched the shows in full yet. And to be honest, you don't need to watch these Hokkaido Sapporo shows in full. The BB Hulk and Casey Homecomings from the 19th of May to the 21st of May. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all Dragon Gate in the soccer hall of Sapporo number 2-1 stadium, which is a very small time venue, it feels like every time I see it. So the thing about these Sapporo triple headers from Dragon Gate is that they really just serve one purpose, and that is to have a homecoming for 2 of their biggest stars in BB Hulk and Casey. And they don't make that much of an effort to make it watchable for the international audience because they might have like title matches and big singles matches that you would deem that you need to watch, like Casey versus BB Hulk and the Triangle Gate match on the second night and the Bray Gate match on the third night. But they don't put the effort into making it presentable because they barely plug in the sound for the sound system, so the sound only comes out of one ear. They have like a film grain on the they have the like most low effort camera that feels like I'm playing like a game on a GameCube. It is the most
Shots
low effort.
fired at the GameCube on this show? What are you thinking, Sondre? You have me on the show solo now. Yannik can't protect us now. You are throwing shots at the GameCube, or maybe the quality of the screen on the GameCube.
The quality of the screen.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I almost jumped out of my seat when you said that. I apologize.
But yeah, they don't make these shows that presentable for the DRAGONGATE network subscribers, and I wish they would, because these shows I think I would have enjoyed way more if I could just watch it in actual good quality.
You know, the thing is, there's really no. I guess it's just a money issue. You know, like, are they too cheap to bring things? I guess because what you said is actually true. GameCube slander aside, what you said is totally right. I think that the problem is that not just quality wise, but your mentality as a viewer. When you see how it looks, you see the setup, and then you see the cards they put on in these, they're basically telling you right away, hey, you don't have to care about these shows. And I think that's a big issue.
Yeah. But then then I kind of have to care about these shows because they give.
Yeah, then they do something that makes you. Yeah. There's a title change
but if you want to see how this venue can look if they have like good production, go and watch another match we're going to talk about later in T-Hawk versus Czech Shimitane, which was in the same building. Did you know that?
GLEAT, they do two things that you know that they're going to do. They're going to put effort into production, and they're going to like your tweets that mention GLEAT by name.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they have accomplished both of those in the last month.
Yeah, but we'll get to the GLEAT show or the T-Hawk and Czech match. But first we need to talk about the Sapporo shows from DRAGONGATE. But we'll not talk about the full shows in full. Like you don't need to hear our opinion on Don Fuji and Punch Tominaga versus Kai and Yo. Like that, it was a match. From night one, the match I want to touch on the most from this show was the main event, the special singles match, homecoming match for both wrestlers, because both wrestlers are from the area of Sapporo, Hokkaido. BB Hulk versus Casey, 18 minutes and 7 seconds, and BB Hulk won with the H Thunder after over delivering so much. This, like, I was talking bad about the production, but the production, this match was so good that it blew away all the production issues, because I was so impressed by BB Hulk. Probably BB Hulk's best singles performance in years. What do you think about this match?
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought this was cool, actually. For a smaller show, you know, you're doing this, you want to do something that feels special, and this match, it felt special. It feels like this is not the kind of performance you get from BB Hulk on a regular basis. I know me and you both agree that he's really done a good job in, Gold Class right now.
Yeah.
I think that he's been a great guy to have teaming with Minoura. The Triangle Gate Championships, he's done a good job in. But as a singles, this was where it was at. I thought he did a great job. And KZ, I mean, what more can you say about him? This guy, just such a talented person, always been a great player in DG, always never really got his due in terms of the main title, but the fan base has always surrounded him, and he has only improved from the beginning. I mean, these two have been aligned for so long, and go back to the MCKZ days to now, and I mean, man, he's just really grown so much. So it makes perfect sense to me that they would really put their all into this, and BB Hulk being able to do this in 2023 made that match have a little bit more heart and soul than maybe a normal match of this quality that would be with somebody else. And I think it all came together to make a very worthy main event and a really good match between the two.
Yeah, and this was, of course, a preview singles match for the Triangle Gate match the day after. And it was, you would normally think that maybe the challenger would pick up the momentum, but no, the champion did. Because on night 2, in the main event, we had Kota Minoura, BB Hulk, and Ben K defending their Open Triangle Gate Championship versus Casey, Big Boss Shimizu, and Jackie Funky Kame of Gold Class. No, of Natural Vibes. Gold Class versus Natural Vibes. The fourth defense for Gold Class was not a successful one because the Natural Vibes trio became the 85th champions when Casey pinned BB Hulk, got his revenge with the spider twist. And what do you think about this title switch and this match on night 2?
I thought, this was a good match. I thought definitely not bad at all. The title change is interesting because a lot's been made of the Big Six type of deal, and this gets the title off of Minoura and Benkei, who are two members of this group.
Notably, Madoka Kikura is now the only one in the Reiwa Big Six generation, or Reiwa generation Big Six leaders that is holding a title.
Yes, exactly. Which brings back to my oft-quoted idea from a few weeks ago that the 6-way would be the title match at Kobe World. And considering that something will have to be the match, it's either going to be that, or they're going to do a show with no matches on it, based on what they've announced so far. So we'll have to see where that goes. But I think that for me, KZ and Big Boss, it's cool if they get a belt on them again. I mean, I'm a big fan of both of theirs as wrestlers. But to see Jackie get a belt was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and he was also the standout wrestler in this match. Of course it was. But
well, yeah, I mean, you don't bet against JFK in these multi-man matches here. And his performance is really strong, as you mentioned. I thought he had great chemistry with anybody he was in the ring with. But, man, I was so impressed on the Gold Class side with Ben K as well. I thought that he did a good job in the match. Tried to make it as, again, smaller show, but a title change nonetheless. They gave it a good amount of time. There was a good spirit to the match, and I thought it really came off well by the end when KZ got, like you said, the revenge pin on Hulk for the prior day show. So I thought it all really worked for me, and I thought it was, again, one of the few worthy matches worth watching on these tours.
Yeah. So notably, this is actually Jackie Funky Kame's second time winning the Open the Triangle Gate title. And you would be, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't know that he held the Open the Triangle Gate title before, because the last time he held it, it was 13 days. When he last year, 2022, Jackie Funky Kame, Casey, and UT of Natural Vibes held the titles for 13 days until they lost it to Gold Class, Kaito Ishida, Kota Minoura, and Naruki Doi, the original trio of Gold Class.
What you say is true, but what a 13 days it was. UT and JFK as champions, glorious times. And almost feels like a different company when you look at that original Gold Class just even a year ago, how much things have changed.
Yeah. But it definitely was, I remember that match where they lost the Triangle Gate. That was really good. I don't remember the one they won it in. They won it from BB Hulk, Kyo, and Shun Skywalker. Because the Triangle Gate in 2022 were flying around. they were flying around like they won it in a vacant title match. That should be mentioned. But yeah, that I always felt like that Natural Vibes trio could have gone further. And now we see that Jackie finally has the Triangle Gate again. And I do think that him, Big Boss, and Casey could be a really fun trio to hold the title for a while. It is weird because at the end of the Korakuen, after Dead or Alive, it seemed like Big Boss Shimizu was the next in line to challenge Madoka Kikura. And they haven't said anything about that. on all 3 of these shows.
Listen, it's a well-guarded secret, apparently. I mean, I know we're only a month out, but they do not want us to know. You know, how long can this last? How long can they hold this secret about who's going to challenge? Are they just going to keep... No matches announced until Kobe World. It's going to be an all-mystery show. And
they still have the double header in Korakuen that might have a Dreamgate title match on it, but it feels so weird that they haven't announced it yet, and the double headers are next week. So it's weird.
This whole time I thought that they must have, because when they moved King of Gate back, I thought that something had to have been up for them to do that. And I thought there was some kind of big plan they had.
Yeah.
But the further this goes along, it makes me wonder if maybe this wasn't as well planned out as I maybe anticipated. And they're kind of scrambling for something that, again, maybe it's trying to get somebody outside the company that they're negotiating with. Maybe something fell through. Maybe, maybe they're having second thoughts about doing a special match of some sort. They want to keep tradition going. I don't know. Like, whatever their explanation is, they really should announce stuff very soon. So hopefully, like you said, that double shot coming, they can finally put all of us at ease.
The only match that is announced for the double shot is Keno and Shuji Kondo defending the Twin Gate versus Susumu Mochizuki and Yasushi Kanda. And that is going to happen on the 2nd of June, which is the second night of the doubleheader. So, that is the only match announced for the Korakuens.
Yeah, and maybe Keno has something to do with it. They want him to have a title match for some reason, and they just something's gone wrong. So somewhere, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense on paper, but
the only thing I can expect is something to be announced on the Osaka Edion Arena show this weekend, which we'll preview later. But
yeah.
But anyway, this match, it was a really good match. I thought the main event from night 1 kind of overshadowed it.
I thought the same thing, actually. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Even though this was really fluid, but the Casey and BB Hulk singles match felt like more special. Even though it feels weird to say that because this Gold Class trio reign has been so good. But yeah, I don't know. Something didn't click with me, even though I really liked this match, though. Don't get me wrong.
I think because of the venue and the small stature of it, and the tour itself not feeling super important up to this point,
yeah,
maybe that all kind of played into it. But I thought for the tools they were given, I thought they used them pretty well. It had a good match. Again, nothing like, whoa, this is really special. You've got to rush out, like, stop the show, watch this. It's not like that, but it's a very enjoyable match, and the winning scene turned out to be pretty good, I thought. But I do agree with you. I thought that Hulk and KZ was definitely stood out more to me. It was better and more special. All of the things you said. So I do agree with you there. But I think that is the one good thing. The first 2 shows were pretty rough, but they came in with good main events both times, and I think that's something at least they gave us.
It was also a nice little brawl between Strong Machine J and Diamante on night 2, which Diamante won with an inside cradle. And this is my segue into mentioning the fact that since our last recording, since Korakuen, Ultimo Dragon has been suspended by the GM Ryo Saito, and no Ultimo Dragon merch is sold at Dragon Gate shows, and this is the consequences that was promised when Ultimo refused to face Diamante in a singles match. He is suspended and merchandise is banned.
Deservingly so. I mean, this man ran away from a challenge. He's supposed to be the leader, the veteran, the old school guy. You don't run away from a fight. Yeah. Didn't your daddy teach you anything about this? You don't run away, Ultimo. You're too old for this, brother. You've got to stop this running away. Everybody knows that we want to see the mass match between Diamante and Ultimo Dragon. We want to see that handsome face Diamante has. I know you do, Sondre. You told me you think
Yeah.
he's handsome. We don't have evidence of this, though. He could be ugly. We don't know. But we think he's handsome.
Yeah.
And we want to see. We want to know for sure. So why is Ultimo Dragon denying us of this? I think Ryo Saito, that's a GM that we can believe in. That's finally actually getting off his ass and doing something, unlike some of these other GMs around here.
It does seem that he is on his ass when it comes to booking this Kobe World Show, but
I refuse to blame him for this. I blame the other bigwigs that the shadowy people behind the scenes that we don't know. I will not put any blame on GM Ryo Saito for this. I think he's being hamstrung. I think he's got great ideas. In fact, I think he would have done my idea already if it had been up to him. I think other people are conspiring against him because, Sondre, pro wrestling is political in nature. Yeah. People are trying to sabotage people. Somebody backstage watched Kobe World to flop. But who is it? We don't know.
Ota Minoura.
Well, he did a great job last year. But even then, it may have been more other people that put him in that position. But either way, it could be him. I will not rule it out.
Yeah. With that, we move over to the night 3, the last night in this Hokkaido's Sapporo triple headers. And the first match I want to talk about, I actually want to talk about 2 matches on this show, which is weird. The first match I want to talk about is Jason Lee making his second successful defense versus La Estrella when he won with the maximum driver after 30 minutes and 50 seconds. This was a very solid Open the Brave Gate title match. I thought La Estrella did well. This man is so miscast as this high flyer because you can see that he always goes back to the grappling, which he has, the person under the mask has history with doing grappling and all that kind of stuff. And you can see that he kind of wants to do that more, but he still has this La Estrella gimmick that he has been told to get more and more over by seemingly Ultimo's Dragon.
Shadow people.
It really does feel like he's miscast, but this was still a good performance from him. Jason managed to get him to this pretty solid Brave Gate match. What did you think about this?
Yave style.
Yeah.
Masquerade Redux right here. I liked the match. I thought it was. I thought Estrella actually really did a great job. Not great in again having a match you have to rush it to see, but Estrella, he is a guy that I didn't have some high expectations coming back for. It's not anything against him. I just thought he was going to be kind of slotted and not really be able to do a lot. But here, he's already got a title shot.
Also, keep in mind, he's still on visit. He will go back to the States and Mexico soon.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. But for this, I mean, he got a title shot. He performed well in it. Showed some good stylistic tendencies that I really enjoyed. And Jason, he's a guy that can kind of work a bunch of different styles in his own way while bringing his own style to the game. And I thought that they worked together really well. I liked this match, actually. I thought it was, to me, the best worked match on the 3 shows. But I mean, that's interesting. I liked it even better than Hulk and Casey as a match, but the other one felt more special.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I do think that I prefer both the Triangle and BB Hulk and Casey over this one, and the main event on this show over this one. But this was still a great defense from it keeps the Jason story, title reign going in the right direction as it should be. I would be very negative on this if La Estrella had somehow won. That would have been a mistake. But yeah, it is maximum masquerade ties, and I do think that we still need some. I think La Estrella still needs some brewing on the stove or whatever whatever.
Yeah. I think I get what you're saying. I don't know if that's. I'm not a big like cook guy. Throw me some grill stuff. I talked about the grill earlier. Maybe not the oven, unfortunately, but put them in the oven and let them grow or rise or whatever.
yeah. But then the main event on this final show, a three-way trios match, not title match, but the two parts of the Triangle Gate Champions was in this one. Madoka Kikuta, Yuki Yoshioka, and Dragon Dia of D-Courage versus Casey, Big Boss Shimasu, and Strong Machine J of Natural Vibes versus Shun Skywalker, Diamante, and Hyo of Seabrats. And this was a win for D-Courage when Madoka Kikuta hit the right hand of God rolling lariat on Hyo after a awesome three-way that I was so into. The Strong Machine J storyline of him wanting to prove that he's on the level of the rest of the Big Six is so cool, and Shun Skywalker just refusing to let him prove that. It is really fun. And yeah, I thought this was a great main event and a great close to this weird weekend of Dragon Gate.
I'm not gonna say it was a bad match, but I think it would have been a lot better if the Zebrats team wasn't in it. To be honest, I think that the Shun stuff worked for the storytelling of it, but I don't think they make matches better. Like to be honest, I kind of would have rather had them not been in it and the other teams just gone at it because that could have been like a real banger. This, like you said, the story is cool with Strong Machine J and Shun going after him, but I think it interrupted the kind of action match that I think we could have had overall a little bit too much for my taste. Again, it worked. I mean, it gave DeCourage a win, which is worth something. You always want to keep those guys strong, and Kikuta is obviously the champion. But as a match, I think the Zebrats team kind of dragged it down for me. I kind of like this worse than all the other matches.
Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. This has a lot of people have said that this is their match of the weekend, and
I'll be
felt
on this island.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we both, me and you, are higher on BB Hulk and Casey than most people are. So
I'm surprised by that. I thought that was like a really strong match. Yeah. Maybe it's just are we Hulk bias right now? Is BB Hulk activated bias activated at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just because we're actually really big fans of him. I don't know.
Well, I've always said he was my OG guy.
Yeah.
DG. So I guess maybe I will wear that tag. But yeah, that to me was the most special match. I mean, I like the work in the Jason and the Estrella match. That was good. And to me, none of these. Yeah.
Either way, this weekend felt so non-consequential.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. Like, ultimately, none of these matches are actually that great. But I think that, like, there was, like, the matches we all talked about were all pretty well worth watching, I would say. Like, all four of these were, and it sucks because 4 good matches in 3 shows is probably not a good average to have.
That is not a good stat.
yeah, exactly. So that's my main flaw, I think.
But yeah, this not a strong weekend for Dragon Gate. These Sapporo shows, if the King of Gate was going, all 3 of these shows would have had King of Gate matches on them.
That's a great point.
That is historically what they've done on these shows. Like last year, they had Casey versus Shun Skywalker as the main event of one of these shows, and that was a King of Gate match. I remember that clearly because that was a really good match. But I do think that not having King of Gate, the King of Gate, like part of these 3 tour shows in Sapporo, kind of hurt them because there was nothing else on this show that was worth it. Like they tried to spice it up, having the Triangle Gate match and the Brave Gate match, and like the title switch is cool and all, and that makes it worth watching that match, and the Brave Gate match is worth to watch for the Jason Lee of it all. If you want to watch all the Brave Gate matches Jason Lee has, but it's still like none of these shows had like a storyline advancement. None of these shows had a preview between Big Boss Shimizu and Madoka Kikuta, which seemingly is the next Dreamgate title match, because that was what it seemed at the end of the Korakuen Hall show.
Yeah, maybe that's another reason why I didn't love that match as much, because they kind of drifted away from that more for the J stuff there, when you would think they would want to build up the title match. But that's a great point you made. In all of this, you'd think they would be trying to advance some things, but instead it feels like they replaced...
They're just spinning the wheels waiting for it.
Yeah, holding pattern, pretty much, they're in right now. They replaced what would have been something really cool with the King of Gate, and now this. So the only thing I can say is I hope they have some kind of plan, again, that we're just not seeing right now, and it'll be, by the time Kobe World comes around, we realize, it all makes perfect sense now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, maybe we'll see. I expect some matches to be set up at for the Korakuen Hall shows next week. On this weekend's show, on Sunday the 28th of May, the last Dragon Gate Network show of the month, from Osaka, Edion Arena, number 2. Match the card they have is pretty like solid, not that stand out, but there are some matches here that are very like noteworthy. Starting off, match number 1, six-man tag, Natural Vibes, Casey, Jason Lee, and Jackie Funky Kame versus Don Fuji, Genki Horiguchi, and Kagetora. I could see this being a setup for Jason Lee versus Kagetora for the Brave Gate, if they want to do that, or Genki for the Brave Gate. But
yeah, that sounds like a plan.
That could set up the next Jason Lee defense. Next match, tag team match. The normal Takeshi Yoshida, we don't need to care about this match. Takeshi Yoshida and Problem Dragon versus Kai and Ishin, the last Twin Gate challengers. This just sounds like such a waste of time.
You want to talk about guys spinning his wheels? Look at Kai.
Yeah, true. And then this one, this is almost a headliner for this show, because this show features the debut of the Soul, the only member of the Dragon Gate class of 2023. There was only one guy that made it through the tryouts and all the pre-work and is ready for the main roster for just a debut, and that is a 24-year-old from Amasaki in Hyogo, Kobe. Ryoya Tanaka is facing Yamato, the former ace, in his debut match. And what a placement for Ryoya Tanaka to be facing Yamato in his debut match. His debut wrestling match, not an expedition-like match. What do you think about this?
Great. Like, we needed somebody new to come around. Coming in facing Yamato, like you said. It's always a good sign when you have somebody big that you can face on your first match. We saw it with All Japan last year, where he faced Nagata in his first match.
Yeah,
Anzai.
Yeah.
So you see that, and you see a place like this. This is the kind of thing that tells you, hey, this is going to be somebody that we're looking at to be somebody here. And I think he's a guy. Hey, there's a lot of young talent in Dragon Gate, though. There's a lot of people that are hungry, that are on the come up, that have a lot of potential. Somebody like Akato, he's not here right now, but I mean, he showed a lot when he came in.
Injured.
Yeah, exactly.
Injured.
Yeah. But he showed a lot. He's going to be a guy for them.
Yeah.
When he gets back. And he's, now you get Tanaka coming in. I'd like to see what he's got. Obviously, we don't know anything about his wrestling, his first match. But
have you seen how he looks, though? Because this guy is handsome. This guy looks like Yoshino. He has a slight resemblance to Masaru Yoshino.
Do you think he could be more handsome than Diamante under the mask, though?
Oh, that is interesting.
That's true. That's something another reason we have to get the truth revealed. Or maybe he'll be under a mask one day too, Tanaka. He'll come back under a secret gimmick.
in the expedition match he had on the D-Courage Kobe Sambo Hall show, which was like very non-sanctioned, very again that was not that important show, which was why we didn't cover it. But he had a 5-minute like trial match with Kagetora on that show, and of course those matches we can't take that much out from, but he had a great like chop battle with Kagetora in that, and that was very like I looked at that and I thought maybe this guy is like he's gonna be like a Yuki Yoshioka kind of wrestler, a guy that kind of wrestles the heavyweight style, but is also very quick because he did also some rope based stuff. So I think this guy might be someone they are high on.
And to bring back the king of chop for
yeah.
Ryu Tanaka, the new T-Hawk has arrived.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he has a T-Hawk vibe with him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too when I saw him.
But yeah, this is the only guy that made it out of that will be debuting in 2023. So that is interesting. That shows how hard the Dragon Gate training regiment is. That a lot of people have just dropped out and can't do it, but this guy made it out.
Wrestling training is very hard and grueling. So
yeah,
who knows why this year there's only one? You know, maybe there just weren't enough candidates right now. Maybe next year there'll be a few more.
Yeah. Well, this match is definitely the one I'm the most excited about on this show.
Yeah, that's
how totally. Tanaka does.
Yeah, that's like totally the most interesting thing to me.
And then we move over to the 6-man tag. Masaki Mochizuki, Susumu Mochizuki, and Yasushi Kanda versus Dragon Kid, Naruki Doi, and Shuji Kondo. The veterans, all in one big 6-man tag. But this is actually the good veterans. All of these guys are good. And yeah, this is of course a preview kind of for the Twin Gate match that is going to happen for what is it, like 4 or 5 days later in Korakuen. So yeah, that's the only thing this match has serves, and I really miss Mochizuki Jr.
Yeah, totally. I wish that he was still, I'll get well soon, Junior.
Get well soon,
Kato. Get well soon, Junior. We need you, man.
And then the semifinal tag team match, Natural Vibes, Big Boss Shimizu and Strong Machine J versus Shun Mante, Shun Skywalker, and Diamante of Z-Brats. This match could be really good.
Z-Brats A-team. Let's hope they can bring something good here.
I mean, the obvious thing here is that the Shun Skywalker and Strong Machine J storyline.
Yeah.
And it's, again, Big Boss Shimizu not teamed against Madoka Kigura.
So maybe it's going to be like the Z-Brats and Vibes feud. They're just going to kind of retcon it and pretend it never happened.
I mean, Shun Skywalker still is beefing with Natural Vibes all the time.
That is true. It just never led to a blow off.
Yeah, it's a feud that keeps on going.
Now to be the same, I mean, Big Boss is still gonna be against Kikuta. He's just never gonna have a title match against him, but he'll always think badly of him in his heart.
Yeah. And then the main event, D-Courage, Madoka Kikura, Yuki Yoshioka, and Dragon Dia, the full trio, versus the former Triangle Gate team of Kota Minoura, BB Hulk, and Ben K of Gold Class. And yeah, that is an interesting main event. I mean, these last two matches both could deliver pretty good.
Yeah, the main event looks really good. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Z-Brats team wrestling. I think they're better for storyline stuff. But Diamante is great. Shun's character, I think, kind of overshadows any wrestling that he would do. But Diamante will do some big things. That could be a good match. The main event, I definitely like. Who knows what that's going to set up, though, at the end of it. I mean, there's a lot of different things. I mean, we speculated over and over, and nothing's really happened. So I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach this go-around.
And then this is, of course, the last show they have of May, and then they move over to June, where they have to start June, they have 2 shows in Korakuen Hall on June 1st and June 2nd. And as we talked about earlier, the only match announced for that is the Twin Gate match. So yeah, we will probably have a full card for the Korakuens after this show, hopefully. And after the Korakuens, I hope we have some idea of where what is happening at Kobe, because on the June 2nd Korakuen, it will be officially 1 month until Kobe World. So we'll see.
Buckle up, people. We may be in for a lot of speculating in the future if they don't do it. But let me run this one thing by you, Sondre.
Okay.
For their match, either before, during, or after, is it possible that Suwama runs in and puts somebody into a body bag?
Oh, man. That Suwama runs in during after the Twin Gate match,
Yeah.
and continues the All Japan story he has with Kano. Yay!
And puts him into a body bag.
Yeah, there actually is going to be a lot of All Japan talk because we're going to preview the GLEAT Korakuen also. So
yeah, or maybe Susumu will get put into a body bag next. I mean, he could join the storyline. Maybe Keno could recruit him into Congo to fight Voodoo Murders.
Oh man, why did you have to bring up that?
Who will Kondo align with? Suwama or Keno? Like who will Kondo? Who will his heart follow if that happens? He's in both factions.
He will leave and join Zebrats.
Wow.
Bringing together Voodoo Murderers and Zebrats for Dylan's least favorite faction in all of wrestling.
I mean, Voodoo Murderers in any faction, I think, would make them my no, not just Zebrats. It's no matter who they aligned with would automatically be my least favorite if Voodoo Murderers within them. But that's just something to look out for. Maybe we see some more cross promotional techniques with All Together coming up right around the corner.
Yeah, maybe. But then, a great segue, because we are going to talk about the potential next Triple Crown champion, T-Hawk, who defended his G-Rex title over in GLEAT in Sapporo, Hokkaido, the same venue we just talked about DRAGONGATE running, on the 14th of May. We are like 2 weeks late for this review, but we wanted to have this. We wanted to wait with this and have both the title matches talked about.
And we had the DDT show kind of last week to talk about.
So yeah, this was T-Hawk's first defense of the G-Rex title, which he won from Kaito Ishida. You can go back in the archives and listen to our review of that match, which is a genuine match of the year contender.
Oh yeah.
When he defeated Shek Shimatani in 20 minutes and 48 seconds. And this match was great.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought it was awesome. T-Hawk. I mean, the Ishida match is at a level that this was not going to reach. Pretty much no matter what happened. But for a match on its own, in, just in this title reign, in Sapporo, I thought that they did a great job here. If you don't know Shek Shimatani, he's this really small guy, super tiny. So even T-Hawk is much bigger than him. And they used it in such a great way. And Shimatani, I mentioned this a few months ago, he's a guy that a lot of people always loved from when he was in DDT. And I never really saw... It's not like I hated him or anything. I just never saw anything that special in him until a couple of months ago with this tag title reign, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. I started to realize, hey, okay, this guy is a dude, pretty much. And I thought in this match, he showed so much fire and just his ability to really have this great sense of urgency, which I don't want to say is unmatched in Japanese wrestling, but he had such a sense of urgency against T-Hawk. Everything he did felt like the entire match was on the line. You know, pretty much like he could lose at any time, so he had to bring it anytime he got a spot to anytime he got an opening, he had to bring it. And I thought he did such a great job. T-Hawk, great ace character. I think he just has such a great swag to him. Like he carries himself well. In this promotion where he's against a smaller guy, it really made him look like a star even more. Obviously, beating down and controlling the match. His chops are definitely. We mentioned Tanaka earlier, that T-Hawk style. His chops are what he's known for most.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a great job. I think he'll bring that same kind of style to Nagata, where he just, hey, whatever happens, I'm going to chop the hell out of you. And we're going to go at it. And that's what's going to happen. And it'll probably be great, just like this was. So I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really strong. So good first defense for T-Hawk against the worthy and very much on the come up Czech Shimatani as well.
Yeah. Czech Shimatani has long needed like this singles performance that he had here to kind of prove that he can hang on the singles and he can have great singles matches. And yeah, as you said, everything you said about this is completely true. And this, of course, was for T-Hawk. This is Sapporo is also his hometown, just like Casey and BB Hawk, which is why they had his first offense here in Sapporo. GLEAT had. Should be noted, Dragon Gate outthrew them in this venue all 3 shows. So sad for GLEAT, but expectable.
Yeah, GLEAT. Yeah.
Did you watch this full GLEAT show?
Yeah, I watch all their shows.
Yeah. So was this GLEAT show better than the Dragon Gate shows in Sapporo?
Well, yeah, I would say that. I like well, it depends on how big of a fan of Izuka you are, I guess. Because
I am.
Him versus Quiet Storm I thought was a good match. I thought Onitsuka versus Yutani was good. Here's the thing, the difference between this match and the others. You had a lot of singles matches on this show, or not a lot, but a few. Like half the card was singles matches, and the other one was a lot of meaningless tag matches. So you gain a little bit more. I thought the tag was really strong, actually. The one with 60 seconds. Yeah, 60 seconds and Soma and Lindemann. I thought that was a really strong match, well worth watching. The semi-main event was pretty good. Like, you know, that's where they brought in a lot of different guys. You had the uniqueness of Ishida teaming with Hartley Jackson on the same team. I mean, they're in the same faction along with Kotaro. Yeah. But they wrestled against the Bulk Orchestra. That was a good match. I thought the show was good, honestly. Like, that's the thing about GLEAT. I think their shows almost always are always good. There's not a lot of interesting stuff that happens on them sometimes. They go through periods of that. But for quality, I think pretty much all of their shows are fair to watch. You know.
Yeah, I watched Lindemann and Soma versus 60 Seconds match, and I watched the main event, but I didn't have time to watch the rest of the show. But
did you watch any of the second show?
I only watched the main event of the second show also.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had the time to watch with the best of the Super Juniors going on. I haven't had the time to watch a full GLEAT show.
Here's my vibe on GLEAT. Like, if you just have nothing going on, you just want to sit back and relax and watch a good wrestling show, turn your brain off and just watch good action, GLEAT is the jam. Just pull it up on YouTube. If you've got a PlayStation, PS5, PS4, whatever, hit the YouTube app, throw it up on your TV, your big screen, just lay back, watch GLEAT, and you'll almost always be satisfied, and they'll have good matches. And occasionally they'll bring out something special in the main event, like we saw with T-Hawk and Ishida.
And T-Hawk and Czech on this show, which was obviously like this T-Hawk and Czech match is definitely like, you definitely should go and watch this, because GLEAT needs new fans, and that is why we always have to. We want to cover them because they, of course, have ties to Dragon Gate. But yeah, they are free on YouTube, so it's easy to find.
Let me ask you this, Sondre.
Yeah.
Shima teased the biggest announcement in GLEAT. Do you think that could have something to do with Dragon Gate coming up? Biggest announcement in GLEAT history.
The biggest announcement is going to be like some low card wrestler on low level wrestler from AEW is coming in. Like Christopher Daniels is coming in to have like a singles match.
Hey, he was in All Japan. that one time for that one match. So maybe he's got the itch to come to GLEAT.
Yeah, maybe. But that we move on to the next GLEAT show, which we want to cover because it had a title match. The G Infinity title match of Bulk Orchestra, Shek Shibatani, we just mentioned him, and Hayato Tamura defeating 60 seconds Yun Tonsho and Tetsuo Izuki in 80 minutes and 39 seconds. This happened on the 21st of May, and it was live from the Umeda Guy Building Stella Hall in Osaka. Now, this I love this tag title match.
Yeah,
this it just like the singles match between Czech and Tiok was needed for Czech to prove that he was worthy of the singles run. This match was all about Yun Tonsho and him proving himself to be on this kind of level. And I thought it was awesome. What do you think about this?
I have a slightly different take. Not that the match wasn't awesome, because it was. But I think 60 seconds are like the most underpush act.
Oh yeah, they are.
It's like I already felt that they deserve this.
Yeah, I mean, Tetsuya Izuki is my guy in GLEAT, so yeah, I understand that.
Well, yeah, Izuki's great. Tonsho is a great performer as well. He's always been a strong guy, even since the Wrestle 1 days. Like, he was one of their guys that I always pegged. And to see them together, they're a great team. Bulk Orchestra team, I love Tamura.
Yeah.
I think he's a great performer, one of their guys that I think could be the champion very soon. Right around the corner. I think he'd probably be my pick, actually, to dethrone T-Hawk whenever they want to get to that. I think he just has so much great ace charisma to him. Like, kind of like when he came in, a lot of people compared him to Okada, actually, like Kazuchika from New Japan. Yeah. And he has that similar vibe to him, except in GLEAT, he is a guy that has even more, kind of what I said before about T-Hawk, in that he's not super, super big, but in GLEAT, he feels like a star player with great size. Tamura, same way. If he were in All Japan, he wouldn't be super big, but in GLEAT, he feels like a guy who's like top tier size guy. So I really like what he brings to the table, especially pairing him against Czech, who's so small. He's even smaller than Lindemann, I think. And they have a great dynamic. 60 seconds, powerhouse workhorse team, great speed to them. Just a great team. I wish they had won, actually. I was really rooting for them to win the titles, even though I like Bulk Orchestra team. And they're doing a great job with this Infinity reign. They've had the titles for a while now. If you go back to last year where they debuted the Infinity titles, they had like very quick title changes, like 1 week title reigns right away. Like the first champion held them for like a week, and they changed them, and they were flipping stuff around. It was really a wreck. And now that they've got these two as the champions, they've done a great job solidifying the titles. And I hope one day 60 Seconds gets their due, because they're both, Tonsho and Izuki, and Sato as well, who's the third member of their group, is a great performer. I love those guys. I think they totally deserve a ton of praise and love. One of the underground favorites for sure, and hopefully they get their due someday. But this match was really great. I thought they had a great job. Yeah, a great pairing, just awesome stuff.
It also keeps the already like great tag team run that Czech and Hayato Tamura has had this year going. And it started when they had the match with Lindemann and Somo Watanabe, and then they had the awesome Korakuen Hall match versus El Bendito and Flamita. And then this match, which just continues. And I think they have had a great like latter half of their run with the G Infinity titles. And I don't know who's going to take them from them, but I hope it's not their next challengers. Because the next GLEAT show we are going to talk about on this show, we are going to review probably in 2 weeks, because it happens in 2 weeks. From Korakuen Hall, GLEAT version extra face-off, Access 2. this is a Korakuen Hall show, so GLEAT has obviously stacked it, and they have stacked it pretty well because the main event, of course, the UWF tournament, the title tournament for the UWF title final, Takanori Ito versus Shinya Aoki is the main event. Who do you think wins this?
I said from the beginning that I think Aoki should win. And if you look at GLEAT's history, they often job their guys out to outsiders. So that gave me more faith in that.
But don't you think that they want an actual signed guy to hold the title for the first time?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But I'm not. If it were Iizuka, I'd be more rambunctious for him. But I don't think Ito's actually that great in the shoot style realm, like the UWF rules. I think he'd be better as just a regular performer, to be honest. I think Aoki. Yeah, so maybe I'm just letting my fan hat because the semifinals. I mean, the Ito and Iizuka match was good, like really good, but the Aoki and Sato match was really great. Like I thought that they did a perfect job.
Yeah.
In like less than 5 minutes of telling a whole story and solidifying this UWF style is something special. So maybe just my fan hat is on here, but I think Aoki should win, and I think he's the most famous person. He gives the title instant credibility as one of the top MMA stars in the history of MMA in Japan, and he's a great performer. So I think I think Aoki should win. If they go with Ito, it makes sense for the exact reason you said. Ito signed, Aoki's not. You know, those are the breaks sometimes. But for me, I think Aoki, the credibility he brings as the legit MMA guy that the others don't have. Look, we saw what credibility they had on the MMA show that GLEAT had, which it went very poorly. Let's just put it that way. So I think Aoki getting some legitimacy to the title, getting a few wins, and then putting over an Ito or Iizuka would mean more, in my opinion. But Ito could definitely win.
If Shinya Aoki wins the title, will he defend it on DDT shows? That is the big question.
I mean, DDT is known for their shooters that they have there.
Akito versus Shinya Aoki for the UWF title. The UWF title.
In the green ropes match that he had versus Akiyama. The shoot style green ropes match.
That is Shinya Aoki's match on Press of Peter Pan lined up.
There you go. I mean, listen, you need all the star power you can get, people.
Other matches on this GLEAT Korakuen. They have another title match on this show. Czech Shimatani and Hayato Tamura defend again the tag titles, the G Infinity tag titles, versus All Japan's. You mentioned Voodoo Murderers earlier. These guys are Voodoo Murderers members. Yun Saito and Rei Saito. Oh man, I don't know about this match.
They're brothers.
Yeah, if you don't know All Japan, the Saito brothers are not. What would I call them? They are not on the level of Hayato and Czech.
But they are bigger than them, though.
They are bigger than them in stature, yes.
And they are also brothers.
Yeah, they're brothers.
And they have better hair.
No.
You don't think so?
Hayato Tamura has a great, he looks so handsome with his hair.
True. I mean, he might be more handsome, but I think hair-wise, I personally always vibe with the long hair most, so maybe that's a me thing.
Yeah.
But when you had them in the suit for the Champion Carnival press conference, they looked pretty stylish.
They look pretty cool there. But they didn't have. But neither guy had like that good of a Champion Carnival.
That's not true. Ray actually had a big run in the Champion Carnival. He was in the lead with a couple of days to go of his block.
In ring, I'm talking in ring, not.
Ray did good. He did better. Somebody has not listened to mine and Yannick's All Japan reviews on the Patreon, clearly, for the Carnival. He did way better than actually both of them did. June did, but especially Ray. He showed that he could be a guy worth watching.
Okay.
Will we see them have a good match here, or will it be Voodoo Murderers junk? Because if they just let them wrestle and have a fight, like a brawl, this could be a good match. If they do Voodoo Murder stupid stuff, then yes, it will be it will be awful.
Which is what I am expecting. But yeah.
And it just feels like for them, I don't think they're the right team to end this reign.
No.
But it kind of feels like, it depends on what they're going to do. I mean, look, we had a GLEAT team win the junior tournament, the tag tournament there.
Yeah.
So this could be like a payback type of deal. Like,
Maybe.
Hey, All Japan is giving you all of this stuff. We're letting your champion challenge our champion, made the finals of the tournament, and your other team won the tag tournament. So I could totally see All Japan wanting some It can't just be such a one-sided relationship towards GLEAT. All Japan is a much bigger company than GLEAT, so they have to want something.
Yeah, but T-Hawk is losing against Yuji Nagata.
That's true. But Nagata's not an All Japan guy.
Yeah, but that's not his Triple Crown!
That is true. But
that is for the All Japan title.
Yeah, but just him getting a title shot is more than
Yeah, well, that is happening because Shotaro Ashino got hurt.
That is true. And look who they turned to. They could have turned to Honda, their own guy, and they turned to T-Hawk instead.
Because it will be a better match.
That's exactly right. Like, All Japan gains from having T-Hawk on their show. It's not like GLEAT. It's not like they gain that much.
But GLEAT are still jobbing out their champion to Nagata.
Well, that is true. But as I said, him even being a Triple Crown match is much bigger than anything he could do in GLEAT.
Yeah. But I feel like that has already paid off the Kaito Ishida and Kotaro win of the tournament. If you wanted to have that trade, we don't need the Saitos to take the titles of the great Czech and Hayato run.
Well, it's not what I want, but I do think it's possible. Like I said,
it is possible. I would be very mad, but it is possible.
The Saito brothers aren't as bad as you're making them out to be. To be honest, like they showed in the carnival what they can do, and I was one of the few. I liked them as young, like pre-Voodoo Murders. I liked what they brought to the table because in reality, these guys started like in their mid-30s in wrestling.
Yeah.
They are sumo guys. Like, bringing the sumo style, I thought was really cool. Like, it's something unique. I'm not saying it was, like, great work rate matches like Czech and Hayato could give us, but they brought something unique to the table. Now in Voodoo Murders, as I said, if they do Voodoo Murders dumb stuff, then yeah, it'll be bad. But if they just let them have a normal brawl type of match, they could make this work. And maybe, it's tough because they've actually kind of, in All Japan, they're normally kind of better fighting other big guys. And so you'd think a big guy would have great chemistry with a small dude like Czech, but I don't know if they'll be able to pull it out. It's tough. I mean, I want Czech and Tamura to win, but I could definitely see if I'm All Japan, I could definitely, I would want something. Like if I were in All Japan, it's like, we're giving this guy so much and we're letting you win the tournament. Like, we need something back.
We'll see. I don't know. Either way, Hayato Tamura, when he drops the title, should be ready to beat T-Hawk, and they obviously aren't going to. They aren't going to give T-Hawk that short of a reign. So,
I mean, we thought that about Ishida as well.
Yeah, true.
I thought Ishida was a great champion. I kind of underrated.
He was.
Yeah, because it was so short, unfortunately. I think T-Hawk, like, grand scheme of things, like the look, the charisma, all that shit, T-Hawk is a better choice as champion, like, with all things considered.
I do think Kaito Ishida is winning it back in the future.
I mean, who knows? Like, with GLEAT, they could have outsiders could come in and win at any time. But I think he's totally deserving, though. Ishida, I thought, was a great champion and a great performer as well.
I actually think we could, during this year, when Naruki Doi has dropped the All Japan Junior title, I do think Kaito Ishida with that title is probably happening.
That would be great. I think
probably not beating Naruki Doi, but
but maybe beating whoever beats. A lot of people think Atsuki will win the title from Doi.
That is what makes sense.
Yeah, they're wrestling on this upcoming show for All Japan, so a lot of people think it's about to come to an end, like, very, very soon, imminently. And Ishida getting a title shot would be great. I mean, they never got that's the thing about that stupid tournament that Ishida and Kotaro
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what they actually won
Yeah.
other than winning the tournament. It was a prize in and of itself. The real prize
But-
was the friends they made along the way.
But the matches they had, the last two matches they had during the Junior Battle Royal Glory tag tournament with Atsuki Aoki and Rising Hayato, both were awesome.
Yeah, Aoyagi and Hayato are a great team.
Yeah.
Shout out to just a totally non sequitur recommendation right now, but I just watched it yesterday and it was freaking awesome. Atsuki Aoyagi, if you're a fan of All Japan, look up Atsuki Aoyagi versus Yuma Aoyagi, two brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had a singles match on the 14th.
Yeah, that was great.
That was one of the best matches of the whole month to me. So, really good stuff between them. But Ishida's a great performer. Him having good matches is no surprise to me.
On this show, I'm pretty sure he's going to be involved in a pretty good match because this unit match on paper looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Kazuma Sakamoto, Ryuki Kawakami, Quiet Storm, and Galano Del Mal of Bulk Orchestra versus Kaito Ishida, the aforementioned Flamita, El Bendito, and Hartley Jackson of Black Generation International. That sounds like a great unit, 8-man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Like I said, just kick back, relax, watch these guys go at it. You got 8 pretty talented guys. Some unique talents too. Galeno Del Mal got really popular, really over. So a lot of people will like him, and
El Bendito got pretty over also last time he was in Korakuen. So,
I love that tag title match that he and Flamita had. I thought that was like way underrated.
And then a G-Rex title number 1 contendership match: Soma Watanabe versus Tetsuya Isuke. Who do you think wins this?
Either one of those are good options. I think
Soma's both are good options.
Yeah, Soma's long been underrated. When they made the announcement for the company, he was kind of the guy they put front and center. And when the company actually started, they've done literally nothing with him for like 2 or 3 years now. So I think that he needs something, and to have him get the title match would be the best for business, so to speak.
And I'm not ready to be heartbroken by Tetsuya Isuke not winning the G-Rex title again. So because I thought he was going to beat Lindemann. He's like my guy, so I would root for him. But I think Soma Watanabe makes sense to win this.
Izuki's a great wrestler. That could be a tremendous match. Him versus T-Hawk.
This could be probably match of the night, other than the main event potentially.
Yeah, and if Izuchi was going to win, he would be. Him and T-Hawk would have a fantastic match. I think they're like a single one-on-one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I think that would be great. But Soma is a guy that has something to him. They just haven't been able to reveal it because they haven't booked him correctly. If they give him a chance, I think you could gain more from him, even if he loses and has a great match. Izuchi is like already where he is, and I don't think he gains too much. I mean, it's a somewhat of a step forward, but like you said, he already had a chance.
He already had last year to show that he was ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Soma would be better this go around.
And then we have the Joshi match of the show. Unagi Sayaka, who has seemingly become like a regular on GLEAT, and Yukari Hoshikawa teaming up versus Itsuki Aoki, who is really good, and Raiden Hagane of Pure J. So this is a question mark Joshi match. I don't know how this match is going to go because Hagane is such a mixed performer, and Itsuki Aoki and Unagi Saga are really loud, so that's their whole thing. They will scream a lot at each other.
True. Well, first of all, Pure J representation. I highly approve of this.
That is cool.
We need to get Akari on one of these shows.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Or Kriya.
Her too. Yeah, Kriya would be great to have. Aoki, off the heels of a big win in a tag match in
Taking a risk Nakajima soon.
Yeah, exactly. So, she's doing some big things right now. That should be a really good match. I wonder what's going to happen with Miyagi.
if you guys didn't know, she is challenging for the Ice Ribbon Ice Cross Infinity title.
Yeah, but they mentioned it on they mentioned it from the GLEAT side that there's this situation, it's going to be resolved in Ice Ribbon or something like that. Like they keep mentioning it anyway, so I don't know what's going on with her, a GLEAT per se.
Maybe I've seen this floated around some places in Discords and stuff that maybe Lidet is considering buying Ice Ribbon.
Yeah, I heard that too. It would be interesting if they wanted to kind of develop their own. I mean, you look at New Japan has Stardom, like Bushiroad has New Japan and Stardom.
Yeah.
Cyber Fight has Noah and DDT and TJPW. Maybe they're thinking of something along a similar line with Lidet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like the president of Ice Ribbon, he's made some unpopular moves in the past. I don't know what his mindset is towards all of that, but it's weird how they're using Miyagi in this run because she's wrestled in Ice Ribbon the last couple of times. Obviously, she lost that loser leaves GLEAT match, and I was really wondering if that was just going to lead to a character change, like try to go back to her crazy gimmick that she had before. But instead, she's wrestled on Ice Ribbon just as her normal self, and like you said, going for the title. It's interesting. It's cool for Ice Ribbon, but I think that that's something you would want to, if it's possible, you would want to get her back just to flesh out this division. But I think we've said it before. That's kind of the one booking criticism I have of the promotion is the women's division is not nearly as fleshed out as it could be, even though they have a lot of
barely is a division.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not what it could be. It could be something really cool, but they really haven't pressed it at all. They're kind of in the same place UWF division was, last year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the rest of the card isn't that sequential, but I'll run through it. Minoru Tanaka and Kaz Hayashi versus T-Hawk and Lindemann. 60 seconds, Yun Tonsho, Oji Shiba, and what's his name? Is Sato? What's his Keiji Sato?
Yeah, Keiji Sato. Yeah.
Versus Black Generation International Yutane, Emperor Azteca, and Koto Suzuki. And then in the opener, Yusuke Kudama, Yusuke Kudama, Isuke Onitsuka versus Yu Isuka and oh yeah, my god, I'm not watching this match. Yuya Susumu. That is for Noah fans. You will know why I sighed when I read that it was Yuya Susumu.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, for some reason on this show, not announced for a match or anything yet, Fujita Junior Hayato of Michinoku Pro. What is he doing here? We don't know. He's announced, but it's awesome.
You think maybe he could challenge T-Hawk after the main event?
Oh, but there's the number one contendership match.
Ah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Maybe he could challenge someone else and then challenge T-Hawk at the next show after T-Hawk.
UWF Fujita Junior Hayato.
Oh, I can get down with that for sure. Like, then Aoki has to win if that's what they're gonna do. Like,
yeah, because I don't see anyone else that can beat Fujita Junior Hayato then.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not gonna come in and lay down for Ito.
Yeah,
yeah. So, and hell, why not have Aoki win and then Hayato be the one to dethrone him right away? Give Aoki his moment.
Oh my!
Fujita as the UWF ace of GLEAT. Yes. I want this all.
Yeah. Either way, I marked out so much last week when I saw that he was coming on the show.
Anytime he comes on a show we can watch is an automatic win.
Yeah. But then that GLEAT show will be covered in 2 weeks when it happened on the show. But we have some DDT news, some pretty big DDT news to talk about before we close the show. The first one is that the Shunma Katsumata injury seems to be worse than we thought, and it seemed because right ankle had a fracture in his right talus bone, and he will be out of action for a while. And that, unfortunately, has made it so that he has had vacate the KOD tag titles and the Extreme title. Sad news. We hoped that this was not going to be that bad of an injury, but it seems it's bad. I hope speedy recovery, man. He will be missed because, as we talked about last week, he has been such a good wrestler for DDT this year. So it will definitely be missed. And they have announced that the Extreme title match, the vacant Extreme titles and the vacant KOD tag titles are going to be decided on the June 25th Korakuen Hall show for DDT. And the tag title match has not been decided yet, but the Extreme title match has been decided, and that is Kazuki Hirata versus the partner of Shunma, who's still healthy, Mao. That is an awesome vacant Extreme title match.
Can't help but to agree with everything you said about Shunma. It was one of those things where I feared it would be bad, and I had hoped that maybe it wouldn't be as bad as we had hoped. And unfortunately, the negative side came out, and that's just the way the dice rolls sometimes in wrestling. I hate that he's injured because he really has been one of the MVPs of the promotion all year. I just hope that when he gets back, they have something in mind for him and can keep him back in the run. And obviously, ending the Shunmao tag title reign so early, man, that's a bummer because they were really one of the highlights of the promotion.
Yeah.
As far as Mao and Hirata, I love it. Hirata, I've always said, is one of the most underrated guys. Like his comedy stuff is so well known, but if you give him a chance to be a good wrestler, he can actually have great matches. This title match is probably going to be a mix of it. I think he'll get to do a little bit more than normal while still bringing in the comedy and the crazy DDT stuff. Obviously, Mao is known for that as well. To me, it makes perfect sense for Mao to win the title in Shunma's absence. That sets up basically an automatic storyline.
Yeah, we speculated about that last week also.
Yeah, exactly. So it sets up an automatic storyline when he comes back going in there. But it should be a fun match overall.
Yeah. And the sad news for DDT this week unfortunately kept going because the day after they announced that Shunmao had vacated the titles and Shunmao was out for a while, they announced something else on a big press conference that they promised big news was going to be revealed and it turned out to be very big news because Saki Akai announced her retirement for wrestling will happen on November 12th in Ryugoku Sumo Hall on the Ultimate Party show. And yeah, Saki Akai on her 10th anniversary as a pro wrestler is retiring.
Well, I can't say that I expected this or saw it coming. But when you really look at the grand scheme of things, it's not that surprising. Honestly, I think that she's been at it a while. They've never really gone all the way with her in TJPW, and in DDT she was always slotted in a role that's very good for her, but not anything that there's a ton of upward mobility on in a normal circumstance. So, she's as I said, she's been at it a while. She's been around for a while. She may have interest in starting a family or something like that. And in Japan, that usually leads to retirements for Joshi wrestlers. So that may be something she's thinking about. Something something personal's got her going on. I can't hate on it at all, but it will be a loss for sure. I think she played such a unique role in DDT that if you're a DDT fan, that's gonna feel like a big loss.
She has had a very big impact on just DDT over the last 10 years because of her involvement on DDT, she has brought in a lot of like Joshis that would never wrestle for DDT if they didn't have her to match up with, like Maya Yuhiki or Hashimoto and stuff like that. And she's also been very unique in her wrestling style because she's wrestled so much into gender, and because she's on the male roster permanently. Of course, she never had like a big singles run because she she just never was considered that on that level for in DDT, which is sad. It is disappointing. I wish she at least would have had that in TGPW, but TGPW has their own booking style that is confusing and a bit weird sometimes. That they seem to be rebounding from and changing up this year, but yeah, it's sad news. They announced on the press conference that they are gonna make sure that this retirement road is as worthwhile as possible. Like they have like they have already set up a KOD 6-man tag match between Eruption, Saki Akai, Hideki Okatani, and Yuki Sakaguchi. Yuki Sakaguchi versus Harimau, Kazusada Higuchi, Ryota Nakatsu, and Yuki Ishida. And that has been added to the Wrestle Peter Pan show. So that is an awesome title match on the retirement road. I hope I hope she also challenges whoever wins the KOD Openweight title. That would be cool because that would be her first KOD Openweight title match.
Well, considering who it's gonna be, I think that's almost like guaranteed.
Yeah, because her and Chris Brooks have history.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I asked you guys, the listeners, who you guys want to see Saki Akai wrestle against on her retirement road before November 12th. Of course, there is almost like there's what is it, like 6 months until then, half a year.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
So they have room to do a lot, and of course, the matches I most want to see her do again or for the first time. I want to see her and Chris Brooks have a big match. I want to see her and Maya Yuhiki have a match again. I want to see her versus Yuki Arai, who she was tag champs with. That is a match that I would be like. That is a TJPW match, of course, but I would be really into that match. And I really want to see her and Shihiro Hashimoto again because that was really fun the last time we saw them in the tag match. What are some you want to see?
I think, to me, her legacy as a wrestler, more than anything else, was how much she improved over the years.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when she came in, I mean, you can take one look at her. She's a model, obviously. You know, like looking in there, she really wasn't even meant to be a good wrestler at all, and she was pretty rough the first few years. I mean, it was some bad stuff, but she really improved. I remember they did a 7-match trial series with her, and Meiko Satomura was one of the opponents. They brought in all these great wrestlers to wrestle her.
Yeah.
And from then on, she really showed a great improvement. And I was so impressed with how good she's become in all these years. Obviously, her charisma, the way she carries herself, the look, all of that is so good. I mean, listen, she leveraged all this into being in Yakuza 6, the Song of Life.
Yeah.
In the game, which you can actually date her as Kazuma Kiryu in those games. And she sang a great song in the game as well, Like a Butterfly. So, shout out to her for that. More importantly, I'm a big fan of that series. But more than anything, she's improved so much and really worked on her craft and taken it so seriously and put a lot of her heart into it. And a lot of her storylines have revolved around that, such as her feud with Yuji Hino, which led to her finally getting him to chop her, which was like to treat her as a serious as an equal or whatever. And it ended up working and being a great storyline they had. in terms of her match quality, she's never got to have those big time epic matches. That's why to me the obvious shout out would be Brooks for the title, because of their history and all they have together, and just being for the title. I think in Tokyo Joshi Pro, she's really known for her character work. Again, more than match quality per se. And I think you could use stuff with that and Saki-sama character as well to do something.
A lot of the people that replied to my tweet was asking for Saki Akai versus Saki-sama. Do you think that is possible?
Nobody said that. I looked at the results of that. Nobody said that.
Dude, I see some Saki Akai versus Saki-sama wishes there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe he gets Sakura Hirota in the. we
that would be awesome.
Yeah, Kyusei Saki-sama. Yes.
That would be awesome.
that would be fun. Yeah, her TJPW stuff's more for character work. So it's not like there's any great matches that she could have in Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Well, the one that is like clear storyline purpose is her and Yuki Arai. That is a clear one that they kind of need.
Well, yeah, they were tag team champion. That would kind of build.
And also Yuki Arai looks like Saki Akai is her like idol. And
well, they were tag partners. I'm sure that will happen. Like when you look at her run in TJPW, there's a limited number of people that she could really interact with. She's one of them.
We also need a final like Neo Bishiki-gun match.
Yeah, that will happen. I'm very, very confident that will happen. You'll have the whole crew there. You'll have everybody. Pretty much, I think. Like, it won't just be May. It's gonna be Yukio. Saint Laurent is gonna be there. Azusa Christie will come back. Bring back non-hyper Misao.
Mei Suruga is making her DDT debut soon, and I think run a singles match between Saki Akai and Mei Suruga in DDT.
That's exactly what I was. That's what I was thinking too, as well. Like you could do wherever they do it, they could just have the singles match. Fine. I think it would be worthwhile to do that. So yeah, those would kind of be the two I thought of most. Would be her and Brooks. Would be kind of the two people I would think that would be. Maybe you could do something with the members of Eruption. Like go through them in singles matches.
She's already said that she wants her final match to be a mixed match. Which means I instantly thought of, she's going to retire versus Yuki Sakaguchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I do think that Yuki Sakaguchi will be her final opponent. Higuchi, have a singles match with Higuchi, that would be awesome. Okatane.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like I said, if they really wanted to go all out and make it special, Brooks versus Saki for the title as a retirement match. We've seen similar stories play out before in Japanese wrestling. I could get down with that.
Here's a question. Do you think she has one last match in Stardom? Because for those people that don't know, Saki Akai once challenged for the World of Stardom title. The red belt.
Yeah, that's the red belt. Yeah, that happened a long time ago. Who was the champion? It must have been Yoshiko, because Yoshiko was in.
Yoshiko.
Yeah, she was in Neo Bishiki-gun as well. Yoshiko will return as a part of Neo Bishiki-gun as well in that match. But yeah, so that had to be 2014, maybe 2013, maybe even sooner, but around that era. Why not? Like I said, they're probably not going to do that. To be honest, Rossi might not.
It'd be awesome though. Rossi, come on.
Rossi might not do that, but I mean, she literally had like one match there. It's not like it was a part of her career or anything.
Yeah. But that would be cool. Who would you want her to face in Stardom? And why is it Tam Nakano?
Well, that would be... God, like, what kind of story could they craft with that? I don't know. I don't know who's a good stylistic fit for her in the company right now.
The next New Blood show. Tam Nakano versus Saki Akai. What a New Blood main event.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I think that would be more interesting for social media hijinks. I think more than anything. Lady C, similar big
Yeah.
girl status there. But yeah, I don't really see that happening.
Either
To be
way,
honest.
DDT should make the most out of this retirement road for Saki Akai.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger things they have going on. Like if you really look at what they're doing right now, her retiring is going to be a big deal. I think they should definitely try and maximize it to the best of their abilities. Like you said, they've got 5 or 6 months to play with here. You could do a lot in that time, set some big things up for her, and make big matches. You could have multiple main events come out of this for their shows, leading to her big retirements, which should be a big event as well.
Yeah. And to bring it back to...
You know what I think that she should do? I think she should have a match in Noah. Like with the women's division,
her and Maya there.
Well, yeah, that's true. They could maybe do a tag or something like that as well. No, I don't know how they're going to use the women.
That is how Noah do the...
Yeah, tags.
Noah weirdly does like women's matches on their big shows these days.
I mean, they just started that though.
Yeah, they just started that.
Yeah, like literally like a month or two ago. So.
And I think they started that because they saw New Japan do it, and they were like, yeah, we're doing it also now. I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the reason why going in there. But they did talk about bringing a GHC women's title, and if that happens soon, like I mean, I don't know if it will or not, but if it did, you could put her in there, like give her a run, get some emotion out of it. You know, I could get down with that, but I think she should definitely at least have one match. I mean, it honestly could be anybody. And again, even that the Yuki feud was not noteworthy really in her career. It was like a very small part of her career.
I thought it was good though. It was really.
It was good. Yeah. Well, Yuki's an amazing wrestler. Anything she does is good. You know, like it was good, but it wasn't like something that, to me, when you think of her, like her career, it's Neo Bishikigun 1 and then Eruption 2 is like the main things of her career and the things around it. And, you know, everything else was not as well fleshed out. But you could do some big things with her as well. And also maybe coming in early on, you know, she was unique style, great look, rookie winner in Tokyo Sports, the corrupt Tokyo Sports voting going in there. You know, so, you know, anything she does, that should be what it revolves around mostly. But if you want to, I think the Noah thing could be good for all parties involved. Noah needs more, have somebody different on their shows, set up a big match between her and some of the people you've got, and you can do something with it. So that's one thing I do hope for. That's on my wish list for her. Be a Noah for one of these matches and knock that off your checklist.
I definitely recommend everyone to go and check out the thread they did of the whole press conference where the DDT English account translated all that was said, because she said a lot of interesting stuff there, and it was a very like it. I am so happy that she's walking out when she wants to walk out and not because she gets injured or something. I said this with Himika earlier over in Stardom, that she's at least at least retiring on her own for her own reason and not because she's injured. And that always makes me happy. Because I hate to see someone who wants to keep going be forced to not be continue going.
Yeah, and I think anybody would feel that way. Obviously, as a fan, I mean, she grew into somebody who was a very valuable member of both rosters, you know, and I mean, you know, she's 36 at this point, you know, and for a Joshi wrestler, that's, you know, she's really survived a long way and come a long way. So to see her come in, I mean, that's really cool and survive her career. And now, the next time she appears in the Yakuza series, she'll be able to actually fight people because. In the game, she wouldn't fight this person who was bullying somebody else. She wouldn't save him because she couldn't fight as a wrestler. So you had to jump in and fight for her. Now, the next time, she'll be able to fight because she won't have the constraints of being a wrestler anymore.
Yeah. The most important thing about the press conference was also that Takagi said that Saki Akai will always be part of the DDT family, and she got really touched by that, and that is awesome.
I'm sure she'll show up too for special appearances here, like in the future.
But yeah, that is DDT. They also confirmed, not that we already didn't know that, but they also confirmed Yuji Hino versus Chris Brooks is the main event of Wrestle Peter Pan for the KOD Openweight title.
Yeah, I speculated they might even try to change it beforehand if they wanted, but they're comfortable with this.
Yeah.
It's the logical finish of this whole deal, and I think that, like you said, it was the logical thing. So we just got it confirmed right away, which is more than Dragon Gate gave us.
Yeah,
with Kobe World.
It should be noted. Should be noted. DDT has announced 5 matches for their big show of the summer, their biggest show of the year, that is happening 2 weeks after Kobe World, which is Dragon Gate's biggest show of the year. Oh, man. That Dragon Gate build is going to be something special to follow. And you will hear our takes on it here on Dramatic Dream Dragons. So, with that, any last things you want to say before we close the show?
Just thank you all for listening. I had a ton of fun talking about DDT, GLEAT, Dragon Gate. Always a good time on the Dramatic Dream Dragons. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me too on here. And if you did enjoyed us, we are going to be back on the Eastern Lariat on Sunday.
Yeah.
We're going to do some big things. And you'll be on the Wrestle Update too, talking about AEW.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Me and you very well acquainted the next weekend. So lots of wrestling going on right now.
If you want to hear our takes on the Best of the Super Junior finals and Stardom Flashing Champions, go to the Eastern Lariat show on Sunday. If you want to hear our takes on AEW Double or Nothing, go to Wrestle Update here on the 5-Star Network.
That's right. You get double up here. Sondre and Dylan causing all kinds of ruckus on
We're
Dramatic Dream Dragons. Yeah,
we're
3
doing
different
a triple
shows.
header. Triple header. It's going to be more entertaining than the Sapporo shows from Dragon Gate.
That's right. My work rate has to be higher than some of these guys on here. So I think we're finally bringing it in. We're putting in the effort. We're putting in that work, and we're doing it for the people out there. Because as always, we always love you.
Yeah. And until next time, as always, be ready, wake up, and go.